The market is near all-time highs, but at the same time, with all the uncertainties that's going on, it seems like a crash is right around the corner. So, should you invest your money now? Or is it better to wait? To find out, I tested 4 investing strategies across nearly 100 years of data, and the results are quite shocking. Let's get into it. Meet Uncle Dan. Uncle Dan doesn't have an investing strategy. He doesn't read financial news, he doesn't need charts, and he certainly doesn't watch doomsday crash prediction videos. Every January, his $2,000 bonus comes in, and he immediately invests it into the S&P 500 and goes back to limp his copy. No thinking, no timing, no stress. And then there's Ling. Ling is a bit scared of immediately dumping all her money into the stock market. So whenever she receives her $2,000 bonus at the start of the year, she splits it into 12 equal monthly contributions and dollar cost averages her money in. Slow and steady P. And then we have Ben. Ben has the worst luck of anyone we have ever met. Every year, he somehow manages to invest his $2,000 at the absolute highest point of the market, the worst possible day, every single time. And finally, the crash buyer. He's probably the smartest guy in the room because he doesn't just throw his money into the stock market. Instead, he waits for the market to drop. If it drops 10% from its recent peak, he puts in 10% of his cash. If it drops 15%, he puts in another 15%. Drops 20%, he adds another 20%. Drops 25%, another 25%. And if the market falls 30% or more, he goes in with whatever's left. While everyone is panicking, he's buying. He's disciplined, systematic, and most importantly, he avoids losing his money to market crashes, unlike every other nooks. So, who do you think won? Before you answer, pause the video and drop your guess in the comments. I will wait. Now, if you want to start investing, you need to keep your costs low. That's why I use interactive brokers. With interactive brokers, you are paying just 35 cents per trade on the US stock market. That's one of the lowest in the industry. They also give you access to Ireland domiciled ETFs, which can save you a chunk of dividend withholding taxes. And if you are not sure what to invest in, they also have a bunch of free company research tools built right into the platform, so you can do your homework before putting your hard-earned money in. Check out my link in the description to get started. Alright, now back to the video. Alright, let's see how they did over the last 20 years, from 2006 to 2025. During this period, there's been no shortage of crashes. The 2008 financial crisis, the 2020 COVID crash, the 2022 bear market, the 2025 tariff crash, and many more. In the first place, we got Uncle Dan, who just invests his money every January without thinking. Over the 20-year period, he made 262% return. Meanwhile, Ling got second place. She dollar cost averaged her money in every month and made 255%. This is pretty close to Uncle Dan. Then in third place, the crash buyer, who waited patiently for every dip and bought in stages on the way down. But despite all that sophistication, he got a much lower return. And in last place, Ben, who bought at the worst possible moment every single year. He made 218%. Interestingly, even though Ben got the absolute worst timing in history, he's basically tied with the crash buyer who has all the sophistication. Now, some of you might think, "Che, but that's just one 20-year period." During this period, the S&P 500 had one of its best bull runs ever. So maybe the crash buyer just got unlucky leh? Fair enough. So I tested this across every possible 20-year rolling window from 1926 to 2025. And the ranking is remarkably consistent. Uncle Dan, who invests immediately, took first place again with a median return of 139%. Ling, who DCAs, came in second at 136%. But this time, Ben, who has the worst timing, actually placed third at 111%, while the crash buyer finished last at 91%. Even across nearly 100 years of data, immediate investing and DCA dominated the top, while the crash buyer was stuck at the bottom. When I compared them head to head, immediate investing beats the crash buyer 91% of the time, with an average outperformance of 23%. Likewise, DCA beats crash buying 86% of the time, outperforming by about 21%. Heck, even Ben, the worst market timer in history, also managed to beat the crash buyer with an average outperformance of 16% versus the crash buyer's 6.8%. Though it's almost a 50-50 coin flip as to who end up winning. Even with all the effort, the crash buyer is still losing to someone who got it absolutely wrong every single year. In fact, This pattern holds across almost every period. Immediate investing and DCA generally take first and second, while the crash buyer and upend fight over third and fourth. Now, to be fair, there is one exception. The 20-year windows starting from 1955 to 1965 all overlap with the 1970s stagflation, where there's double-digit inflation, oil shocks, and a market that basically went nowhere for a decade. In that kind of environment, crash buying actually worked. But that happened once in nearly 100 years of data. And even then, when you compare immediate investing to crash buying only had an average outperformance of just 1.5%. So no matter what you compare it to, whether it's immediate investing, DCA, or even the worst timing imaginable, the crash buyer either loses most of the time or barely breaks even. So why does crash buying underperform so badly? It's actually quite logical, because despite all the crashes, the market actually goes up most of the time. The S&P 500 has finished positive in about 73% of all years since 1926. That means for every year that you are sitting in cash waiting for a crash, there's roughly a 3 in 4 chance that the market is moving higher without you. So year after year, the gains that you miss while waiting for a crash will almost always outweigh the discounts that you get when the crash finally arrives. As the legendary investor Peter Lynch once said, far more money has been lost by investors preparing for corrections or trying to anticipate corrections than has been lost in corrections themselves. Now, I also want to address this issue because I think it's important. Some of you might be thinking, okay, so immediate investing wins more. But what if I genuinely cannot bring myself to invest everything at once? That's where dollar cost averaging comes in. Instead of putting your money in all at once, you split it into equal money contributions throughout the year. In our back test, DCA money had a median return of 136%. That's within 3% of immediate investing's 139%. So practically, there's not much difference. Vanguard actually did a similar study on this, where they looked at across 46 years of global market data and found that lump sum beats DCA about 68% of the time. But the gap is small. So if DCA helps you to actually invest instead of sitting on the sidelines waiting for a crash that may never come, then DCA would be a better strategy for you. And the best part, most brokers let you automate this. Set it up once and your money goes in every month whether the market is up, down or sideways. And here's the thing about crashes. There's always something to be worried. Always. In 2015, China's economy was collapsing. In 2018, the trade war was going to destroy global markets. In 2020, COVID, fastest crash in history. In 2022, inflation was out of control. Interest rates were spiking. In 2025, Liberation Day tariffs crashed the market. In fact, if you plot the crashes and the time to recover, you realize that the crashes have been getting shorter and shorter over the decades. The 1929 crash took 302 months to recover. The 1973 oil crisis, about 90 months. 2007, about 65 years. COVID, 6 months. Tariffs, 4 months. And that's because the market structure has fundamentally changed. Passive index funds now control over 50% of fund assets, automatically buying every month regardless of what's happening. Information travels instantly, and algorithmic trading jumps in within seconds of any dip. So by the time the average investor even hears about a crash, the recovery is often already underway. JP Morgan also found that if you just miss the 10 best trading days over a 20-year period, your returns will get cut by more than half. $10,000 invested in the S&P 500 from 2005 to 2024 would have grown to $71,750 if you stay fully invested. Miss just the 10 best days and the returns would drop by more than half to $32,871. And what makes timing the market so difficult is the fact that 7 of those 10 best days happen within 2 weeks of the 10 worst days. The biggest enemy of successful investing isn't so much the market crashes, but the investor themselves. In an attempt to outsmart the market and get better returns, they often end up with worse returns than if they had just done nothing. And one thing most people don't realize is that investing is actually a soft problem. You don't need to be smart, you don't need a system, and you certainly don't need to listen to the doomsday gurus who predict that a crash will come every other week. All you have to do is buy a broad index fund, whether it's the S&P 500 or the MSCI World Index. Invest into it consistently, whether that's lump sum or DCA, and don't sell. That's it. That's the whole strategy. The hardest part of investing isn't finding out what to buy. The hardest part is doing nothing when the market drops 30% and every headline is telling you the world is ending. But as we have seen, the data overwhelmingly shows that the people who just stayed invested, even with the worst timing imaginable, still came out ahead of the people who tried to be clever about it. So to wrap up, we tested 4 different strategies across 78 rolling 20-year periods going back to 1926. The crash buyer finished dead last, while immediate investing and DCA dominated the top. And the lesson is simple. The cost of waiting for a crash is almost always higher than the cost of being invested when it arrives. Anyway, that's all for this video. Hope you found it useful. Like, share and subscribe as I'll be posting new videos every week.